What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode. Hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and share the video. Hit the join button and become a member. Why? This might be where the camera's at. I ain't sure because I looked at it yesterday. I ran the video back. I was not looking in the camera. Why? Because members get exclusive content. Maybe the camera's right here. I don't know. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please do so. Wherever you're at, camera. Damn it, I'm going to have to look back and see where I was looking, see where it's at. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so. I appreciate it. Now, there have been people making reaction videos to my videos. I guess I'm on to something. Maybe I'm doing something right. They're dissecting everything I'm saying in the videos, going back, trying to prove me to be a liar, etc. I have done reaction videos as well, so, you know, that's the nature of the game. Some other people said that, you know, how come the Hoovers don't attack the Mexicans like they did old boy from Denver Lane for having that stuff on his face and all of that, having Hoover crossed on his face. Well, how come y'all don't attack the Mexicans? We've been beefing with the Mexicans, with the South Lows for decades. We've never had a peace treaty with them, ever, and we still don't, still beef with them. And me, personally, I've been in many riots and such with the Southsiders. That's neither here nor there. Let's get into this story. And this story takes us to CENTINELA State Prison. And there, I was in the cell with the young homie. He ended up moving in the cell with me. Let's call him Danny. If you know, you know. Danny has a disrespectful name from Hoover. Now, he was super turned up, so I'm not going to say his name only because of that. From my understanding, Danny, he no longer gangbang. Big Trey Soldier told me at the end of last year that old Danny boy, had moved to CMC and had stopped gangbanging. Said that he wanted to be referred to by his first name, his government. I had a different take on that last year. A different take than I have at this juncture. Then I thought he was a traitor. A weakling, someone who couldn't finish a job, couldn't carry out his duties. I no longer feel that way because gangbanging is so damn stupid. But I do know of people who have been stabbed for denouncing and renouncing their gang there in prison, or just saying simply, I no longer gangbang. Perhaps they're trying to turn Muslim, turn Christian. They just don't want to be bothered with it anymore. But the gang does not accept that and ends up stabbing them. It's happened. The OG homie from Grape Street, it happened to him. He came out to the yard and said he wasn't banging no more, and they sliced him up. But old Dan, well, I guess he's in CMC, from my understanding, at least as of last year, late last year, and he had stopped gangbanging. But here on CENTINELA on C Yard, and he was my cellie, he was gangbanging up to a storm. Had found himself in a myriad of situations, a plethora of situations. In and out of trouble was old Danny. And he was always extra'd out, always turned up, always acting like he was prepared for the funk. He had tattoos everywhere. And again, that coupled with his disrespectful name caused him to get into many of a scuffle. He had Trouble Gangster crossed out on him. Now, as many of you know, the Trouble Gangsters, well, they are our allies. We get along with them. They are our loved ones. In fact, I have 2 cousins from Trouble Gangster. They really from over there. I used to hang out with the troubles on the street, in their hood, at their shop, etc. I'm not gonna get into that. I know many of them because my family's from over there. The Five Deuces are especially the Five Deuce Hoovers are especially close with the 5-1 Trouble Gangsters. They even somewhat clicked up 5-1-2. But the Trouble Gangsters and the Hoovers, well, they had gotten into a little trouble a while back. A little beef had brewed, a little war even, over a female, basically. I'm not going to get into that. But these are indeed the comrades, indeed the homies. We click up with them on the street and in prison. But when they had the little war, and it was a little war to be reckoned with between the Hoovers and the Troubles that lasted a little while, some Hoovers went and got tattoos, disrespectful tattoos, disrespecting the Troubles. I'm sure some of the Troubles did the same thing, had tattoos disrespecting the Groove. And here on CR, old Danny, he had a disrespectful tattoo towards the Trouble Gangsters. He had Trouble Gangsters somewhere on his body because he had so many tattoos. But he had a tattoo disrespecting the Trouble Gangsters. He had them blocked out. And they were not happy about it, especially because we were such close allies. But again, now a war had taken place. And during this war is when he got this tattoo. So we were no longer allies at that juncture. Whatever the case, they're not happy about it. They're on CR. One day over there, and I'm going to get into some of the situations that old Danny had gotten himself into. Many of you know exactly who I'm talking about. On this particular day, Danny, with a history of situations there on the yard and even in the county jail and on the street. But he's representing the turf, and he, for the most part, doing it admirably. Minus a few infractions. He's over there working out on the pull-up bars with this disrespectful tattoo. Obviously, the Trouble Gangsters had spoken amongst themselves and said, this is not going to work. Even though he's the homie now and before, minus the war, but we are back allies at this juncture. The tattoo, he still has it on him. Even though now, these are the homies. These are our allies. And he's not covering up the tattoo, or he hasn't gotten the tattoo removed. I can't recall the homie's name from Trouble that was there that got into this incident. I know that the homie Scrap was there. It wasn't him though. And Tiny Scrap was there. I was there with Skrilla. Meech was there. All the homies from Trouble was there. But I don't recall this dude's name. I forget his name. This actually happened right before I hit the yard and had gotten to the cell with old Danny. I do know that he was over there working out. And whatever word that the Troubles had amongst themselves, old boy from Trouble, he attacked Danny. He dope fiend him. What we call a dope fiend, which means you hit someone when he's not looking. He cracked old Danny. And Danny, from my understanding, was pretty dazed and could not really respond. So the word went out. They didn't get caught. They went back to their cells at yard recall. But now the word is out that the Trouble Gangster has attacked a Hoover, put his hands on him, and to make matters worse, he did it while he was not looking. Fired his shit up from the back, if you will. Well, in recent days, I've been speaking about the Hoover general, so-called. And he's lurking on B Yard at this time, there in Centinela. And the word got to him about what had transpired. I'm not going to get into detail. I probably should not have even said that much. But the word came back to the homies and to Daddy to take care of business. Everyone was upset, not only because we are now allies with them and he attacked the homie, but because of how he did it. And many of you took issue with the story I told a couple of days ago about the Hoovers waiting till the dude from DL was alone and then attacking him. Say, how come y'all just attack him with? I wasn't there. I don't care. I take care of business. I run in the crowd with your whole hood right there and get cracking. I don't give a fuck. And the homies that was there, they was some strong dudes as well. It's really just strategy. I guess it's just war strategy. That's what they said in the Pelican Bay riot, that it was just war strategy. But when the Hoovers do it, it's a big old problem. But at any rate, Dan has now gotten word, old Danny boy, that a response needs to take place and quickly. Even though this is the young homie from trouble. And he is now an ally. He apparently didn't see it that way when he dope fiend you. Now, obviously, I understand where trouble was coming from. I haven't just brought you a story about someone getting viciously attacked and airlifted out of the prison. He was indeed airlifted out of, he was put on a helicopter, bro. The dude from DL, when I said that the Hoover stabbed him up the other day, he was airlifted out of there for having a disrespectful tattoo. So I understand how that goes. And old Danny has this disrespectful tattoo. He's on a level 4 yard. And the dude from trouble dope fiending. He's probably said to himself, "You lucky I didn't stab you. The only reason I didn't stab you because you the homie. Because you from Hoover," or whatever. You know, maybe that was his mindset. Maybe he called himself taking it easy on old Danny. I don't know. But everyone is none too happy about the fact that he hit him while he wasn't looking, and that now we're allies and just let that go. So again, the word came back, and I'm not going to even say or get into what the word was. But it wasn't carried out by old Danny, because old Danny, come to find out, he had a whole lot of bark, but very little bite. His bark resembled that of a cane corso, but his bite resembles that of a poodle. Instead of adhering to the word that came down as to how he should retaliate and respond, he took it upon himself to just go back out to the yard and squabble the dude from trouble. He did do that. They went to the yard a different time a few days later, and he rushed the dude from trouble for hitting him, for dope fiending him, for having a disrespectful tattoo. And he got his get back like that, if you will. And that's what happened there in Centinela with the Hoovers and the Troubles. They are our allies. As I said, I personally have family from there. I personally know a lot of them and got mad love for them. But things happen, situations happen, beefs happen, wars happen. And then, you know, sometimes you overcome these wars. You overcome these beefs, and you're able to resolve it. Sometimes. And since they were our allies before, it was easy to resolve whatever conflict we had with them and move on. But again, at the time that the war was transpiring, people ended up getting disrespectful tattoos and etc. And this was the result of one of those situations. It could have been worse. Luckily, there was no knife play involved in this situation. And it didn't go further than that right there. He dope fiend old Danny, dazed him. Danny did respond not long thereafter and came out fisticuffs, mano y mano, and they squabbled each other down. And that squabble lasted a little while. And, you know, the fight was about even from my understanding. But as I said, old Danny got into a few situations there in Centinela and in other places, partly because of his demeanor. Extra'd out, tattooed up, had this crazy walk like he was Jeffrey Dahmer, like he was Ted Bundy. But really, he was more like P. Diddy. Soft. I'm just telling you what it is. That was my seller. But even then, he had some unbecoming ways about him. Again, I'm going to do my best not to expose him too much, because he did try to represent the best that he knew how. He just made many mistakes. And I'm going to have to get into some of those mistakes so as to forewarn the viewers not to make these same mistakes that old Danny made. I'll get into it. I'll be back. And in the meantime, stay free, people.